Hello everybody and then welcome back to the channel where we are here for another edition of Mock Draft Monday here for the Green Bay Packers. We're doing a full 7-round mock draft here for Green Bay here on PFF Mock Draft Simulator. And as usual, we're just going to go in, do what I think will be the best that we can for Green Bay. This hasn't been updated in about 10 days, so it was probably going to be similar to my last mock draft I did. But I'm just here to have fun. So if you like the content, remember like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you guys would have done differently than me in this draft. So let's go ahead and enter in here. As usual, we go down to pick 23. There's a lot of players on the board. First pick was Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Aston Genty, Mason Graham, Ted McMillan, Shador Sanders, Membo, Golden, Campbell, Warren, Stewart, Barron, Campbell, Walker, Williams, Green, Ezriaku, Johnson, Grant, Starks, and Egbuka. Now, there's a lot of opportunities for trade backs here to go back with the Bills and Chiefs, which we could do. But there's a couple players here that I personally like here. As usual, we'll be talking to them, but these guys have some character concerns. Luther Burden, the wide receiver out of Missouri, 77.9 grade last year. Played really, really well. Let's actually look up RAS score. So, RAS scores, 2025 prospects. Only... It's taking forever to load. Luth Burden. It looks like he doesn't have an RAS score right now. So, we'll go back to that later. But he's a very solid receiver here for the... that could be taken. Had a good year in 2024, a great year in 2023. We know all about him. I've been talking him up for a while. He can play all positions on the field for the Packers. But there's some concerns with some character about his love for the game type thing that's come out recently. So there's opportunity that might not be great for him. So, but I still think it'd be a great weapon for Matt LaFleur's offense. There's also James Pierce Jr., the great edge out of Tennessee. One of the top 3 edge rushers in his class. Really good pass rush win rate. Had 43 hurries last year. 8 sacks. 6'5", 43. Really good. Very technically good player there. So he's another option. James Pierce. Yeah, look at this. A 9.4 athletic score. Good height. Very, very fast. Elite. Good. Broad jump. He hasn't done any agility testing yet, but so far really, really good 40 times, which is insane. So he's another guy we can go for as well. But we could also potentially trade back as well. But I'm like, we can trade back with the Bills here, get their mid-round pick as well. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick one of the guys here, and I'm going to go with James Pierce Jr. because there's a lot of... No, do I want Luther Burden? Because either way, there's a lot of depth for these guys, but there's a lot of really good depth for edge, whereas there's not really a lot of like number 1 potential guys left in this receiver draft. So I'm actually going to go with Luther Burden the third here. I doubt he'll be here listed on an actual draft day unless the character concerns are really, really that intense. But Luther Burden, I think, would be a fantastic receiver for the Packers. And we need receiver help. So let's take him here at 23. Then we come down here to pick 54. 2 guys I was looking at, Jaden Higgins and JT Tuimoloau, went ahead of us here. There's still a good amount of edge depth that we could take here. But 65 might be too far back. Jack Sawyer, we've talked about before. The thing is with him, he's a high floor 4-3 defensive end. Early day 2 range is good. He's a good run defender, which will be good. A good, decent pass rusher these past couple years. Could be a nice guy to have for the Packers, but not necessarily the most insane guy in the world. There's also Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. Had 31 pressures last year. Good pass rush win rate. So more be a 3-4 guy type of thing. And there's Kyle Kennard back there, but then Josiah Stewart. Actually, let's go ahead and trade back with the Giants to pick 99, trade back, and resume the draft. And Kyle Kennard's still here. I was hoping more for Josiah Stewart, but Kyle Kennard is a very solid edge rusher as well. We could take here. 77 grade last year, 10 sacks, 23 pressures. Not the greatest run stopper in the world, but 6'5", 254, leaning along, good arm length. So he could be a really good pass rusher for the Packers. So let's look up Kyle Kennard here on the RAS site as soon as it loads. So Kyle Kennard, 8.57 RAS score, which we know Goody likes his guys. Okay height, weight, and bench, but really good speed as well for his size. So I think he'd be good, but no explosiveness or agility testing yet. I think his pro day still hasn't happened yet. 8.57 RAS score. I think he will be a good, just solid pass rusher for us, and we just need more of that in this offense. I know we were expecting Lucas Van Ness to take a big step this year, but we need to have another guy in there just to have in the room. And I think Kyle Kennard is a very solid option. I was going to take him at pick 65. Then we go down here to pick 87. There's Jalen Knoll, the wide receiver out of Iowa State. Had a good year last year. Good contested catch rate, good receiving grade. 5'11", 200 pounds, so on the lower end for what Packers like for their wide receiver. But high jumper and sprinter, so he's a very fast guy as well. Good acceleration. More of a slot receiver, which is not something the Packers necessarily need with Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed. But there's also Jalen Royals here out of Utah State. 6 foot, 205 pounds. Good strength. More of a possession wide receiver. Really good hands, which we do need a possession wide receiver because Romeo Doubs is not going to be that guy for us anymore because of his injury potential. So I think Jalen Royals is going to be the look here, but let's go ahead and take a look at him. Royals. Jalen Royals has a 9.0 at RAS score, which is really good. Height's low, but decent weight, decent bench, good explosion grade, good agility, great speed. He ran a 4.42 40-yard dash, which is insane. Good hand size, good arm length. Yeah, we're going to go with Jalen Royals here out of Utah State. I think he'd be a very, very good receiver for the Packers to have here. So let's go and take him at pick 87. And then here at pick 99, I'm looking at Tate Ratledge. He looks to be a very solid guard for here. Not solid pass rushing, downhill power, gives us a chance to be a starter. I mean, Sean Ryan is most likely not going to be in the building next year. And who knows what we're going to do with Rasheed Walker, if we want to trade him following this season or not, and move Jordan Morgan over. So I think, in general, we also need good guard depth. And Tate Ratledge looks to be a very solid guard prospect here. Allowed only 7 pressures last season, which is really good. Really good pass protector from the offense line and a good run blocker. Yeah, I think he's like a Packer pick through and through. And I think we want to build up some of our interior offensive line depth. As you saw last year, we had none of that. And I think Tate Ratledge is a very good player to have there. Him and Sean Ryan would be like the backups, and let Ryan go and let Ratledge kind of develop into a potential starter for Green Bay. So I'm going to take Tate Ratledge here, pick 99. Then pick 124. You know who I'm looking at? I'm looking at Noel Williams. I think we need to add to this corner room. He had a very good season last year at Cal. Has 7 interceptions, a 40.1 passer rating against. Good run defender, good coverage, good zone. 47.7 completion percentage against. Did allow 3 touchdowns last year. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, strong press man corner. I think he will be a very good player for the Packers here. Let's go and take a look at his RAS score here. Noel Williams. A 7.12, so not the greatest in the world. Mainly his speed, his explosion, not very great, but has great physical traits, and we need a kind of a more physical guy for us. So that's going to take Noel Williams, the corner out of Cal. I think he'd be a very good addition to this Packers organization. And then pick 159. I'm looking at two different prospects here. Simeon Barrow Jr., defensive lineman out of Florida. We need to have another defensive lineman. TJ Slayton left in free agency. We need a more run defender defensive line because we have Kenny Clark, who after a down year last year looks to bounce back, and we also have Devontae Wyatt, who is a pure pass rusher, not a good run defender. So we need someone to kind of take over TJ Slayton's run defending role because the rest of the defensive linemen like Kobe Wooden and Carl Brooks aren't that. Simeon Barrow, 84.0 run defense grade, really solid there. Good pass rush win rate as well, so he kind of can do it all. He is 6'3", 290 pounds, so a bit of a lighter guy. So he's someone that we could look at as well. Well, Simeon Barrow. And I think he could be Simeon Barrow. A 9.0 for RAS score. That is very, very good. Size, he's a bit undersized for what he is, but really, really fast, 4.89. Really great agility, so he can win on the interior. So it probably has some good explosiveness as well. A 9.0 on the bench, so he is strong for his size. Weight at 283. Hand size is good. So he's a potential option for the Packers there. But we can also triple dip at wide receiver and go with Kyle Williams. He's someone that in the past few weeks on Packers Twitter has really become like an eye-opener because he looks very, very solid. He's 6 foot 186, but had a good year last year. Bit of a drop issue, but a really good contested catcher. Good against man coverage. Good yards per route run. Kind of more like another Jalen Royals type thing, which I don't think we really need. So I'm actually going to go with defensive line here. Go with Simeon Barrow Jr. He's a bit undersized for the defensive line, but he has good explosiveness, good speed. Proved last year in a Power 5 conference that he's a good run defender as well. So I think Simeon Barrow will be a very good player to add for Green Bay on the defensive line. So we go ahead and take him at pick 159. Then at pick 198. Yeah, this is where I start running out of things I want. Jalen Smith adding another corner to the room, I think would be a good idea here. Good coverage, good run defense. 62.5 pass rating against us here. 2 interceptions, did not allow a touchdown. 82.5 coverage grade in general. 5'11", 190 pounds. I think we need some additional depth in our corner room besides just Noel Williams in this draft. So I think Jalen Smith will be a very good option for here. Let's go ahead and take him here at pick 198. Now at pick 237. Yeah, not really seeing anyone I really desperately want here. Smail Mondon Jr. I really like as a late round linebacker flyer. Had good production. Had 38 tackles last year in 10 games. A 73% pass rush grade. A good run defending grade. 5.2% missed tackle rate, so didn't have that many missed tackles. Had 3. His pro comp is like he has a very good physical presence, but not so great mental. So basically just another Quay Walker. And with the whole situation of us with Quay Walker not knowing what we're going to do with him, having Mondon basically be another Quay, I think would be a very good idea. And we love taking guys who we get as special teamers. So let's take Smail Mondon Jr. here with pick 237 to add to our linebacker room. And then we're going to take Johnny Walker Jr., another late round guy I talked about a lot, and I think could be a good depth piece for the Packers. Need some more depth in the edge room. 6'3", 255. Had 10 sacks on 34 pressures last year. A 15.4% pass rush win rate. Overall, just a very solid prospect. So let's go and take Johnny Walker Jr. here. And I think we nailed this draft. We drafted Luther Burden III to be our star receiver. In this draft in the first round, I think he'd be, even with the character concerns, will be an excellent prospect for the Packers to have. They gave us an A+ for that. Kyle Kennard. Not my first choice in edge rushers in the second round. I wanted to do two Miolau in the second rounder, mainly because he's a good run defender, solid pass rusher, wins with a lot of patience. I think would be good. But Kyle Kennard looks the profile as a very high floor guy, which we need right now on this team. Jalen Royals would be a good possession wide receiver. I think I would love to have him on this team. With our trade back with the Giants, we take Tate Ratledge. I think it would be a very good guard depth that can eventually replace Sean Ryan's role, and especially once we move Jordan Morgan over to the tackle, which I think is the plan in a year or two. He can come in and take that right guard spot and basically have the line of um, Jordan Morgan, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Tate Ratledge, and Zach Tom. I think that would be a great offensive line. He took Noel Williams to add some corner depth. I think it'd be a very good corner for us here. Seaman Barrow Jr. kind of taking over the TJ Slayton role. Bit undersized, but I think he has the skills to be a very good defensive line for the Packers. Jalen Smith for another corner depth here. Smail Mondon Jr. I think will be a very good linebacker and potential Quay Walker replacement in the future if he's able to, learn how to play football. Then Johnny Walker Jr., another edge guy to add to the room. And overall, I think this is a very solid draft for Green Bay. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.